Okay, let's get ready. Let's get ready. Today is Monday Morning Matters. Let's get ready. This live broadcast is sponsored by Magnicraft Consulting Limited. Magnicraft Consulting Limited. And Magnicraft Consulting brings you Monday Morning Matters every Monday to talk on issues and clips that will help you and help your church navigate towards health. And here am I. Thank you for joining. Thank you for hooking up. And thanks to those who asked questions over the week. Last week, Monday, the video went viral. Thanks for the shares. Keep sharing. We must ensure that our churches are healthy, stronger, and better. Okay? And we need everyone to be on board to be able to see how we can get this right. Okay? My name is Niyi Dunmade. I'm the CEO of Magnicraft Consulting Limited. I'm the certified church consultant with the Society for Church Consulting in the US. Okay? My name is Niyi Dunmade, and please feel free to search me up on Facebook. Ask me a lot of people have been asking me questions. How do we engage your services? Just go on my page and then book an appointment of a 30 minutes call, and we'll be able to get your brief and get you rolling. Okay? And today's focus will be 12 probing questions for your church. We are in a pandemic. There's a lot of disruptions. I prefer to call it disruptions instead of interruptions, because disruptions to me seems to be like a blessing, forcing the church out of the four walls of the church to reach out to the community. And to be candid, in the last 10 weeks, the impact of the church is so amazing that if COVID-19 did not show up, I'm sure the potentials that we see in some of our churches wouldn't have seen it. So the disruptions is a blessing in disguise. And I'm sure that our churches will come out strong, our churches will come out better, and our churches will come out healthier. But I've drafted out 12 probing questions within your leaders, your workers meeting. When you meet together, you can ask some of these questions in all the fibers of the church and see how your church is doing. These questions will not be far away from the questions I will ask as a certified church consultant if I was engaged in your church. So these are 12 probing questions, and because of time, I will take them in threes. Today, Monday will be 3, and then in the next 3 Mondays, I will take the rest of the questions. So our framework, church health framework, is this. If you have missed a lot of videos, go back to Magnicraft Consulting page. You will see quite a lot of videos there on some of this church health framework. I've talked on prayer, I've talked on ministry, evangelism, discipleship, fellowship, worship. That's a church health side, which is the top side of the fishbone diagram. And the bottom side of the fishbone diagram, which is resources, onboarding. Onboarding is the same thing as assimilation, outreach, leaders, structure, and strategy. And that's the organizational health. So we need a balance. We need an active, all these purposes to be active, to be balanced, and to make sure that they are working at their peak. So I will want to go with the question for today because I want to wrap this up within time. All right? The first question is the church teaching based on the Bible. Those are the very, very fundamental things. Before we start talking on so many things that maybe we'll find out that the church has derailed from, because the truth about it, the pandemic has made some churches to go off the truth or go off the track at which they are supposed to use to get towards health. But the first question we ask is the church teaching based on the Bible? The truth about it is that what stands forever is the truth. I've said it several times that the message does not have any problem. It's how we engage, or the method at which we engage or interpret the message or deliver the message. That's where the problem is. So what are we talking about in the church teachings in terms of your constitution, your bylaws, your creed, your statement of faith, your doctrinal issues, okay, statements. What are they? Are they founded only on the Bible? Are they founded only on the Bible? And one of the things that we also, you see, the Christian teaching is not just from the pulpit. Teaching in your church is not from your pulpit alone. In smaller meetings, there are a lot of teachings in department, in unit, in fellowships. And there's a this department that every church should take seriously, and that's the Christian education department. That's where you indoctrinate, you teach, you expound, you exegete the scriptures to make sure disciples are maturing and they are grounded, they are established in the word. Okay? YouVersion is there. YouVersion has a way of tracking a lot of people's reading plan patterns and see how they are moving on in terms of learning what the Bible entails. Okay? Small group curriculum. What is our curriculum like to make sure that it is grounded in the Bible? What is our Christian education curriculum like in our church that is grounded in the Bible? The staff that we have on board, okay, how are they teaching the things only that we have founded in the Bible? Is the church teaching based on the Bible? Okay, we're going to move to the next question, which is question number 2. All right, is the church a praying church? I've seen a lot of churches who talk so much about prayer, but by the time we get to engage them in a consultation, we find out that they are not just praying. You see, one thing is to talk, it's another thing to act. And one of the things that bring results is not the talking, is the acting. And I said that it is foolishness, it's a foolish strategy to be able to take what people say more than their action, because what brings the results is what you do. It's what you carry out, okay? That makes you who you are, not what you say. I can walk up on the screen here and tell you that I'm an aeronautic engineer, but that does not make me an engineer. It's what I do, what I've indoctrinated over the years that makes me who I am. So first of all, we must move away from talking to people about prayer and start practicing regularly. I know the church is on lockdown, and then we need to find out how we can digitalize some of this. In Zoom meeting, we can pray in tongues, we can pray in the Spirit, we can raise prayer points in smaller groups and make sure that the fire of prayer is not diminishing in our churches. We must find ways to get prayer requests going on, because right now people are going through a lot. Let's find channels to get prayer points, prayer requests, to see how we can pray and get everybody to get the testimony that they deserve. The prayer ministry is not supposed to be left alone to a kind of group of people to pray, but let's move away from just telling about prayer to teaching about prayer. Let's move away from announcing that there's a prayer meeting from actually doing the prayer meeting. Let's move away from the inactivities of prayer to being intentional about prayer. Okay, let's move away from talking to start modeling this church. Let's find ways, despite the pandemic interruptions, that our church are still praying, because the times we are living right now requires that we should fan the flame of prayer in our churches, in our small groups, in our departmental meetings, in every fiber of the church. Wherever that there is meeting or gathering, we must have that praying culture all through our churches. So the second question is, what is the church a praying church? Now the last one for today, which is question number 3, is, what is the church driven by a Great Commission focus? The Great Commission is to reach out to the world and make matured believers. Okay, and that is very clear in the Bible, in all the gospel, including in all the book of the gospels, and including Acts of Apostles. In Matthew chapter 28 verse 18 and 20 is there. In Mark chapter 16 verse 15 is there. In Luke chapter 24 verse 46 to 49 is there. In John chapter 20 verse 21 is there. And in Acts chapter 1 verse 8 is there, where the Bible says, what? And you shall be witness unto me in Jerusalem, in Judea, and in the uttermost part of the earth. Okay, the church should be driven by Great Commission. You are preaching online, you are doing whatever it is. Have that focus in mind, that you are to harvest souls. Have that in mind, that you are to reach out to people and get them saved. Make altar calls. Let them indicate and let there be spotters to spot them and then get them to new believers class. All right? Jesus commands it. And if Jesus commands it, God is going to back us up when we drive the church by having this Great Commission focus. Christ promised that his power and his presence will be felt when we fulfill the commission that he has mandated us with. We are never alone when we embark on the Great Commission. All right? Passion for souls should be very, very, very important right now, because the unchurched are really getting confused because they can't meet in churches. There's so much of religious things online, but we have to make sure that there's passion for souls, and that will show in the way we budget allocation for evangelism and missions. Okay, your church should be able to have some good money, because preaching the gospel takes a lot of effort and resources. So what budget of your annual income is given to evangelism and missions? Okay, your support for missionaries. Okay, and then how you can make sure that you encourage and give some motivations to the laborers that are few who are trying to harvest souls for God. Okay, that's the third one. Is the church driven by what? A Great Commission focus. I want to wrap up there with it. So the first one I said, what is the first question? Is the church teaching based on the Bible? All right. The second one is the church a praying church? And then the last one is the church driven by a Great Commission? Next Monday, we're going to talk on our 3 questions that you need to ask. And some of these questions are questions you can actually look at, because you don't know when you have drifted away. You can plant a corn and right now, and if you don't do what it takes to water and nurture that corn, you will find out that something else is going to grow. And that's what's happening to some of our churches. They are planted, but if you don't follow some guideline nurturing and watering principles, you just find out that there's no more church but something else, which might be like an empire or a business organization entirely. All right, so we're going to go to the next 3 next Monday, and then that will help us in moving up to our church health framework and that. So please share this video to a pastor. Like my Facebook page. Thank you for all those people who have been liking my page. Thank you for, I know some of the things we're teaching are strange, but please like my page, tweet, follow me on Instagram, subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you got to my page and you don't like some of the things you're seeing there, reach out to me. I'm going to ask you what do you want and I'll give it to you. All right? Like my page, share this video to a pastor. If you have any questions and on some of these things, you want me to rub minds with you, some of these questions, you can reach out to me on the phone. We are here to make sure that we give you excellent church consulting. Follow me on all this. You can chat me up. I will surely answer your questions. Okay? Feel free to private chat me some of these questions, and I'll be glad to answer your questions. All right? So as I wrap it up, today's focus has been dealt with. My name again is Niyi Dunmade. I'm a CEO of Magnicraft Consulting Limited. I'm a certified church consultant with the Society for Church Consulting. All right? So please, I want to wrap it up here. Thank you for listening to me. Till I see you again, it's always a good pleasure of mine to come your way, to come into your space, and to share something that will help you on your church. Thank you so much. Till I see you again. Bye-bye.